We're telling the truth yesterday at 6:24 when we said Dan Barreiro should be back tomorrow. We expect that Bumper to Bumper will be full strength. That's debatable from 3 to 6:30. The big ticket will be back after the 4th of July weekend. As Brett Blakemore is my witness, that was the intention. As Rick Spielman once said, we have no intention of trading Percy Harvin, but things change, conditions change. And in this case, I'm sure when Dan returns, hopefully tomorrow, who knows, it sounds like he will have quite the travel tale to tell. I got a text about 7 in the morning, which is early for Dan and me. We like to get things going just in case I've got to find a guest to book or I think there's someone he should reach out to, get on their radar day of. We usually talk between 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock. If it's 10, then I really feel guilty as a producer that I'm not doing my job. But I got the text around 7 this morning from the usual host of this show saying, not going to work. Going to be surprising if I make it back in time for the show. I will let him give all the details, but I had every intention of mailing it in today and just being the usual goofy sidekick. Couple of cheap shots, couple of jokes, couple of takes while he's reading texts.
That's my plan.
And that's your plan today. But
Yes.
Here's the thing. I was locked in early for the show yesterday. I had all the guests I wanted to have on. I knew exactly who we needed. I knew exactly what regulars we had. I really liked what we had today or yesterday. Today, we're going old school. I didn't say, I'm just going to force a guest in. I didn't say, I'm just going to pop on Alec Lewis to talk Vikings. What's going on with the Vikings? Nothing. Even Lou Nanny, the Tuesday regular, I texted him and said, I don't know what your plans were, but if you weren't planning on coming in, feel free to take the day off. And he said, I'll do that, thanks. Because there's nothing going on with the Wild, right? In fact, there's something I'm going to talk to you about later. Is it time to pivot off of Dylan Larkin? Mull that over for a minute. I saw that on social media today. Sure, I could have Jace Frederick on, or Pat Micheletti on, or the voice of the Gophers, Mike Grimm on. I could have all the usual Gaardsy crutches on today, but we're not going to do that. We're going to grow a little bit, Brett Blakemore. It is going to be a Talker Tuesday, and in some cases, a Talkback Tuesday. At the bottom of the hour, I'm going to need a lot of feedback, and I think we're going to open up every channel. The Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line, 64686. My Twitter handle is open. That's at Gaardsy. That's with a Y, not I-E. We're going to open the talkbacks. I don't even know how to log into the talkback over there because it's been so long since we've actually used them. And we may even dust off the phone lines. I think the number is 800-320-5326. We used to have a 651-989-5326 number. I don't think we have that one anymore.
I don't think so.
We're straight up toll free. If you don't know what toll free is, well, you're probably not listening to this station because you're too young. 800-320-5326. We might open it up because, like a lot of people today, we're going to do the audio think piece on how to fix youth sports or how to fix youth soccer, because that is the think piece that I think every columnist in the country had in their drafts ready to send to their editor about 10 minutes in to the round of 16 match last night in the World Cup. And that's where we begin today. The joyride always ends fast, doesn't it? I feel that way when the Wolves are out of the playoffs or the Wild are out of the playoffs. You're in this meat grinder. Every other night, there's a game. You're reviewing a game, previewing a game. What are the adjustments going to be? How's the series? Jaden McDaniels said they're all bad defenders. Jokic tried to kill him. Wembanyama tried to kill Naz Reid. What's going on with Jamie Benn? Is Kaprizov going to score? How good has Quinn Hughes been? Man, if we can just get by Colorado, then it's basically a bye to the Stanley Cup final. Like, there's all these things that you just break down, and then you lose, and it's it. It's over. You're on to the next thing. I remember feeling that with Gopher women's basketball. You're on this amazing ride. You're top 10 in the country. You're a number 4 seed. You've got 11,000 people at Williams Arena. Game-winning shot with 0.3 of a second left. You go out to Sacramento. You play UCLA. You lose, and then you're home, and it's over. You just have to move on with the rest of your life. It always, always ends abruptly and ends fast. And the most fun run of U.S. men's soccer in my lifetime. And some people might say 2002, right? That was the quarterfinal year. Was that the Landon Donovan goal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Some people might say that. But the most fun run, at least for me, the first time I really got into it, and I think a lot of people are in my boat here, ends in the most painful, dreadful way possible. And could possibly haunt these guys for a really, really, really long time. Because when you think about everything that was set up, and I know that a lot of them talked about it last night, expanded field, waters it down a little bit, right? Teams that you weren't even thought to have had a chance to play because they just started soccer 10 minutes ago or just got into the World Cup. You got to play. Relatively easy group, right?
They were in Pot A, or Pot 1. It's as easy as it gets.
Easy as it gets. Relatively easy first knockout round opponent, right? In Bosnia-Herzegovina. I think they've been that far one time in history to the knockout round. We even got the controversial FIFA corruption decision. We had the presidential Trump card. We had everybody mad at us. You had the undivided attention of the sporting public. You had the undivided American public attention at large. And from everything that Mike Trudell, not my pillow guy, Pierre Nugent, Brett Blakemore, all the people that love soccer that are in my life, those three, and they were all on the show yesterday, what'd they say about Belgium? Not great form. Been a little choppy. They might be getting older. Their best football is behind them. It was all laid out. You're in the perfect soccer city, Seattle. Low cloud covers. Softy from KJR was there. Disaster last night. So much of a disaster that even the other soccer fans in my feed were commenting, man, this could really actually set you back. We were all excited about the growth of the game and the popularity of the game. A performance like this with 40 million people watching, this is something that really halts that momentum. We're going to talk about it first couple of segments. Everybody's bored and bitter with Pulisic now. Everybody's done with him. I think I understand some of the reasons why. To me, it comes down to a couple of things. Belgium was ready to play, obviously. Whether they were mad about the Balogun red card or not, they were ready to play. They scored less than 10 minutes in after the U.S. got the Tillman shot, which was, again, awesome. Like, hey, we're back in it. Bad start, nothing good, we're back in it. Well, they hadn't even reset the field yet, and we were already down 2-1 again. It's almost impossible to give up a goal 60 seconds after you've scored one, but we did. If there's one word to describe the effort early, I don't know how you feel. I tweeted it out, nervy. You could tell because, and I get it, when you're trying to do something that you've never done before and all of a sudden the spotlight is on you and you know what everybody's been talking about, that this is the match. You'd already kind of been given the mulligan next round. Lose to Spain, no harm, no foul, but this is the one. Let's get to the quarters. Let's do it. They played like it. They were tight. The passes were all over the place. Just horrifying defense. When our coach is just throwing his arms up like, what are we doing? Cam Dantzler, what are we doing? The Belgium forecheck, that's what I'm calling it, I thought was outstanding. Like, they gave us no time and space. You like my hockey analogies? No, we had it. They'd go, no, we're just going to run up on you. We're going to make you get rid of it.
They were gripping the stick too tight.
They were.
That's exactly what was happening.
And they were trying to be too cute when you just got to get shots on net. You just got to throw it. Go high side on Crawford. They weren't going to give us any time to start passing it around and doing our version of the Pentagon. They weren't doing any of that. We were going backwards a lot, and I know that's a thing. You go backwards to set up, but felt like we were going backwards because there was no place else to go. And then we couldn't and then they would forecheck again, and we'd lose the ball. It was bad. That doesn't even mention the goaltender meltdown. I've never seen anything like that in a high-stakes game. It was a buzzkill. It was a bummer. And just like that, it's over. The dream is dead. You've already moved on. You're already looking at
I'm trying to.
Transfer windows. Your Pulisic jersey, nowhere to be found. And it was a fun 3 weeks. We're going to talk about, get Blakemore's thoughts on the match as our official World Cup correspondent when we come back. I'll also get to the Pulisic problems because people are bitter with him for a number of different things, including some post-match comments that we will play. big picture, I think it's still an absolutely successful World Cup for the U.S. We can argue about that. We can talk about that. I'd love opinions, but that one's mine. The last 3 weeks were fun. I thought they played really well. The Paraguay match will always stand out to me. It was great. But when it ends, man, it ends quickly. So where do we go from here? That will be a theme in terms of the soccer next segment, in terms of everything else in this country, sports-related, more specifically youth sports-related. That's coming up at the bottom of the 3 o'clock hour when we will need participation from the audience.
Justin Guard in for Barreiro on The Fan.
From the 1-800-ASK-GARY Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Gens Ryan Heating.
Bonus Bucks is coming back to KFAN. Starting next week, we'll have 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. It's every hour from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. To enter keywords and learn more, head to KFAN.com. Bonus Bucks is presented by BigDeck.com.
Kick Show edition, bumper to bumper rolls on. Gaardsy in for Barreiro today. Brett Blakemore back as well. We expect Dan back tomorrow. We expected him back today.
Yeah, we hope.
Never know. Airline travel, a little dicey nowadays. So we are here until 6:30. Guest free. Top 5 at 5 coming up. Something to monitor, or at least something we'll bring up at some point during this show as it relates to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Brian Windhorst, ESPN.com, ESPN, Windy. Apparently, via ESPN Cleveland, said LeBron absolutely knows what team he's going to sign with, and the vibes are pointing towards returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Oh my gosh.
So we will continue to monitor that, wait for the white smoke. We'll wait for everything there with LeBron. And later, probably in the 5 o'clock hour, maybe 4:30, we will talk a little bit about the Wolves' plan with or without LeBron. I know you've been thinking about it.
I have.
For the last fortnight. You've been dying to try to figure out what the Wolves are trying to piece together.
It just makes so much basketball sense, Gaardsy. That's what I see.
So how are you doing? How are you doing today, before we get into how you were feeling last night? As one of the number one soccer people on the station, really, you and Nordo are the two football fiends.
Yeah.
I would say even you more so, because you don't have 3 kids like him. You're locked in on Premier League and everything that goes with it. So that's why you were the bumper to bumper World Cup correspondent, because of your connection to the beautiful game. So as a guy who I've seen you 3 times in the last 3 weeks, and each time you were wearing the Pulisic kit, how are you doing today?
Fine. It sucks. It's about the worst way you can imagine. If they would have played their best and Belgium would have just been better, we're not having any of these conversations.
Yeah.
Today. It's like, there's the better team. It is what it is. I think people are being a little dramatic. You know, you were mentioning it's going to set soccer back in this country for, seeing a performance like that. It's like, well, they weren't going to win the whole thing, and who's to say they don't lose 3-0 to Spain in the next round and we go, boy, didn't even show up. And it's the same thing. So I think that angle of things is a little dramatic, but the performance was just hideous. You could go to a man and just say, this guy stunk. And the tactics that Belgium had, they subbed off their 2 best players for more athletic, bigger guys to just bully us, and it worked to perfection.
Yep.
They moved their striker. I was just watching a video on this. They moved him to just float next to Tim Ream, our oldest and slowest defender, and they just used and abused him. It was, the first goal was on Ream. The second goal was on Ream. The third goal could have been prevented by Ream, but he couldn't manage to turn his body around because of the goalkeeping feat, the disaster that was the goaltending situation there. All 4 of the goals were completely preventable, and individual mistakes caused them to happen. So when you see that, it just stinks. And Pulisic wasn't good. The buildup wasn't good. They couldn't string together 2 passes.
Right.
It felt like just the cohesiveness and organized, we have a game plan and we're sticking to it, that we saw every other game that this starting 11 played, was gone. So that angle really sucks of it. I think in 2 weeks' time, it'll be, oh, yeah, it was a good World Cup. They played well. They had some good moments. Fell flat at the end, but what are you going to do?
I give Belgium credit for making them uncomfortable. I think you nailed it, though. When you have a big opportunity, and this was as big as it gets, right? Mm-hmm. You could argue this is maybe I mean, you would know better than me. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. It's like you're never going to have a better opportunity to really make a big splash. Cue the Lavelli Neal III sounder. Make a big splash and really get everybody at a fever pitch for that match on Friday against Spain. But it's how it happened. Yeah. When you have an opportunity like that, and I remember we can go through it in every sport, every team. When the buildup is as big as it was, and I don't remember one bigger. And you've got the scenes in Seattle and Tom Rinaldi saying against Bosnia they played with 10. Tonight they'll play with 12. Playing off of that. That's just classic Rinaldi, right? You've got all of that going. To play so poorly, that's where you said the word, it stinks. Mm-hmm. Because it feels like you didn't even give yourself a chance. You didn't even give yourself the opportunity to make things interesting. And by the way, they said it at halftime, the first assistant coach, whoever it was that talked to Jenny Taft, after all that, we're only down 1. Like, it could have been much worse. Yeah. Felt like they didn't have the ball for the first 15 minutes. They get the free kick, which was awesome. And you're like, all right, you're back in this thing. It was a disaster to start. Everybody calm down. We get why you were nervy. This is the biggest match that really any of these players have ever played in, right? So there's going to be pressure, and you could feel it just on the simple from me to you passing that they couldn't quite figure out. But when you melt down that badly, that's where, when I say this could haunt them for a while, because you never know you're going to have that opportunity again. Like when you have a performance like that, I'm guessing as a competitor, the one thing you want to do is just get back out there and play. Like that wasn't us. And it wasn't. Pochettino said it after the match. That wasn't who we've been for this entire tournament. And he was right. And unfortunately, in a one-and-done situation, when the other team has a say in it, you make a couple of mistakes, and that's all she wrote.
How many? That's just playoff soccer. How many times do we see that in the NFL? You've got a great, stretch of games going into the playoffs. You have one game where you don't show up, and that's it. It's over. So, I don't know. No one played well that game, but I don't think, and we can get into the Pulisic stuff too, because as you mentioned, I was wearing his shirt for 3 weeks straight practically.
Yeah, a long time.
It's going to need multiple washes. I think that a lot of the slack a lot of the criticism the slings and arrows he's getting is mostly unjustified. He was terrible in this game.
Yeah.
Like there's no getting around that. He was losing the ball. No one was particularly good. But he was one of them. He wasn't good. But I feel like that's coming from a lot of people. I don't want to do you don't know what you're talking about. You don't. But it's like, I watched this team play Nations League games against Jamaica. You know what I mean? Like, I watched this team play Gold Cup games against Costa Rica in here. So, like, I don't just watch once every 4 years, and I know that Pulisic, when he's on the pitch, it's different, and it feels different.
Yeah.
So, did he have a horrible, no good, very bad day? Absolutely. He stunk. But that doesn't mean let's strip him of Captain America and get him off all the commercials. You know what I mean? It just, no one played well.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He got hurt trying to score a goal, trying to have a shot, and he kicked somebody's ankle who tried to make a play on it.
So where do you stand? Because that's one of the big, I'm with you to this extent. There's a lot of people that have said out of the 7 World Cup matches, he's missed like 3 of them or something. Like he's not been available very much. And that could just be bad luck. And you mentioned the injury last night. That's bad luck. Like you're going to try to score. The guy's foot gets in your way. Like, I'm sure that hurt like hell.
Yeah, he kicked the hell out of his, calf.
I'm sure that really hurt. Now, where do you stand on the broadcasters are saying, bro, we love you. You got to get off the field. You got to get down. You got to put your hand up. Like, we appreciate you're trying to gut it out here, but if you're hurt, you're not helping us. And I think they scored, was it the last goal at that point or whatever it was?
I think it was the third one.
So you got, regardless, you got to they were pretty adamant that you got to stop trying to be the hero there. I get you want to stay in, but if it's that bad. And here's what he had to say, by the way, after. Here's Jenny Taft and Pulisic.
I know you were in a lot of pain, had to be subbed off. What were you dealing with, fighting through?
Yeah, I mean, I just twisted my ankle and just sprained my ankle. I mean, it's just frustrating to end like that, of course. But, now I get time to rest, so hopefully it'll be okay.
So everybody's mad about that last part. Now he gets time to rest. I don't know. Nice attitude. That's what you're thinking about? Now you get to rest?
Someone sent this to me with that exact same, like, what a pansy.
People are mad about it. So you're saying that's trumped up. You don't buy that.
I don't understand the frustration. What do you want him to say? Oh, man.
Well, I get to rest. Yeah, we know, because you're out of the World Cup. You barely played.
He was saying, they asked about the ankle.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I get to rest, so hopefully it'll be okay.
Are you a Pulisic pocket protector?
100%. And I'll stand by it. So I just think and he's not, I think a lot of it comes from when we expect the stars, the Captain America, the Anthony Edwards, the Justin Jeffersons, their personalities, just jump off the screen. And Pulisic just doesn't have that personality. Sorry. He's an introverted, soft-spoken guy. And I think that just rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like maybe if he was sobbing in that interview, oh my gosh, I can't believe we lost. It's going to be 4 years. But then I'm sure people would go the other direction and go, he's soft, he's crying, you can't be blubbering.
So he's polarizing in general.
He's polarizing in general that he's a soft-spoken, keep-to-yourself guy. He's not an Anthony Edwards that, has got his logo everywhere in his shoes. If it's just, he's not that type of personality.
So big picture, was this a successful World Cup for the U.S. men's national team? World Cup correspondent Brett Blakemore.
I'm standing by what I said yesterday. If they lose it, it'll be a good World Cup. It won't be a great World Cup. If they would have won, it would have been a great World Cup. It's a good one. They played well. They showed they can play an organized game. But the weaknesses that we knew coming into it were the goalkeeping is a problem.
Yeah.
And the defense can be slow.
How does that happen? What is he doing on the third goal?
I have no answer for you. I don't know how you don't just you had it right there. Maybe you're expecting that you're going to get a cleat in the calf, so you pull up on it. I have no clue. But
I feel like didn't his foot get caught in the turf a little bit? It feels like it kind of got caught
on try
up.
2.
Was it?
So I think he hesitated on 1. They got caught on the turf 2, and then they get an open shot. But then Tim Ream is there.
Yeah,
can't do anything about it.
That's tough, though.
It's tough. You don't even have to stop it. Just redirect it away from goal.
That's hard, though. But you're also not expecting it. You're not expecting your goaltender to completely throw up all over himself out there.
Yeah.
When you're, like I said, clinging to life.
It was like Marty Turco, but he, caught an edge and slipped and slid to the red line. That's what it was.
I do think it was a good World Cup. I might even say great. Now, I look at it as I'm the casual. I'm the guy that just came into this literally first half of the Paraguay game. Like, that's my lens.
A great place to come in, though.
But watching that and going, this is fun. This is entertaining. I can see why people like this. And I've lived through, I've been on the fan 22 years, whatever it is. Oh, good for me. So how many World Cups have we gone through? We mentioned Jamie Watson, Sneaky Pete's, Poor Richards, Lavelli Neal III, doing the show with PA and Dubé, down Highway 100, Uncle Sam waving people in to come watch with us. Like, I've been through a lot of these as the casual observer. This is the first time, certainly since I started working here in 2003, that it felt different. It felt real. It felt like something cool could happen. Not that they were going to win the World Cup. I don't think anybody expected that. But because of all of that, and because of just how the conversations, I feel like, have changed between the hardcores like you and the casuals like me globally.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a very successful run. And women come here next year, right? And that's a totally different deal because they win the World Cup quite frequently. I remember watching every second of 1999. I remember exactly where I was watching all of it. Brandy Chastain, the whole deal. Her sister-in-law coaches soccer at the U. It's all good. But
I think they've got a new core, too. A lot of their old guard is gone. Alex Morgans and everyone,
So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But I think it was a successful run. I think it was a good run. We can split hairs on good to great. I think you probably lay it out pretty fairly there. But I know I enjoyed it. I know the regular host of this show enjoyed it. I'm sure he'll have a lot of thoughts if and when he ever gets out of Chicago. He'll have some thoughts for all of us. But I hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
I know you're bummed.
I got more than 60 seconds worth, that's for sure.
Exactly. Now we'll go back to that for a while. We'll go back to that limit. Worst case scenario, if you can get Max to talk a little bit more soccer, that's fine. But we'll get 60 seconds of soccer on this show from time to time.
What if the U.S. is in like a big final against Mexico?
Is it at the Azteca?
Could be.
If it's at the Azteca.
Probably not. It's probably in Vegas or something.
Yeah. No, not really.
No?
I don't know.
Do anything
We'll
for
see.
you?
We'll see. If you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought that.
You said definitely no.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, I wouldn't have thought I'd be this invested in this team, in this run, and enjoyed it as much as I did. We've got more soccer to sprinkle in as we go, as it pertains to the men's national team. It's the last day, really, for the postmortem for our World Cup correspondent, Brett Blakemore. And we said it yesterday. We hope it's not the end for the U.S. side of things. We'll maybe keep you on retainer as the later rounds go, because the tournament still goes on for like 6 months. We've still got that going. But when we come back, the day after, when the U.S. loses, there's always the think pieces. We're in think piece time now. What to do? How do we fix it? This is a problem with the youth system. This is a problem with how kids are raised in the game. Why does Europe have it so much better than we do? Why are we the only country that can't figure it out? Well, it's not necessarily a soccer problem. It's not unique to one sport. We're going to try to tackle it. I go in eyes wide open that we're probably not going to come up with many solutions today. I do think when it comes to the youth sports problem that we have in this country, and by the way, we have it big time. I came up in it. I'm in it right now with my own kids. I'm living it like a lot of you are out there. But I want some feedback on a couple of different things when we come back. We will try to tackle the untackleable, the youth sports problems in America. We will get to that when we come back.
Let's bumper to bumper.
The Fan welcomes some great shows at Grand Casino Arena this year, including Journey, October 4th, Smashing Pumpkins, October 13th. Tickets are on sale now. Get complete details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
All right, texts have already come in to the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line 64686, and we haven't even really introduced the topic that I do want to spend a lot of time on. It's a topic that's not new. It's a topic we've spent time on this show and other shows for many, many years. But it's something that if you're listening to a sports talk radio station or like sports, you're probably in the thick of it or have been in the thick of it or at least know someone that is. And it has to do with youth sports. And soccer is the natural jumping off point because the World Cup just ended. And I swear the second that the match was over, like actually over, not when we gave up the goal
not
after we tied it, 62 seconds after we tied it and we went down 2-1, or our goaltender threw up on himself and we went down 3-1, or when Pulisic got hurt and then everybody was mad at him. Not then, but when the horns actually went off, the 3 horns, only 4 minutes of extra time too, seemed light. Seemed like
See, the vibes, we were talking about the vibes. They were dead. So like we don't need all 4.
Vibes were bad.
Yeah.
But the tweets and the think pieces went out immediately. And the one that caught my eye, and a million of them have, and I've spent a lot of time today just kind of parsing through it because you don't have to go very far to find people's opinions on this, and they are ready-made, but was from Clay Travis. Outkick guy. He's on Twin Cities News Talk. Buck and Travis. Been a sports guy. Been all over the place. Speaking of polarizing, he's got opinions. He likes to inflame. He loves to throw stuff out there. He's Clay Travis. But this tweet caught my attention and some others. One big U.S. soccer thought, our youth development has got to get more affordable. One of my kids plays travel. It's at least $5,000 a year, and this isn't even super high end. We can afford it, thankfully. Lots can't. Youth sports costs in the U.S. are out of control. Soccer more than most. To which somebody named Mike Herndon quote tweeted it and said this: 100% true. If you have a 6-year-old who is any good at all in the U.S., your options currently are A, cheap rec league soccer where your child gets zero coaching and no real competition, or B, shell out thousands per year to a travel club. Completely broken system. To which that second point, 100% right. And the disclaimers that I will get out there at the beginning, because I do want to talk about this for a while and get a lot of different opinions. A couple of disclaimers. Number one, not every person or group that runs a for-profit club is in it for the wrong reasons. Because we get that a lot. There's a lot of There are plenty that just want to make money, that have put all their eggs in that financial basket to this is how I'm going to make my living. I'm going to support my family this way. I'm club director Y. I've got to recruit a certain number of athletes, and there's a number of parents that are going to pay whether I'm delivering on anything that I say I can deliver on or not. There are a lot of bad ones. There are a lot of good ones. So I'm going to I want to get that out there about the generalities, because that gets thrown out there a lot. It's like everything's a money grab. Everything's about the dollar. I don't think that's true. As someone who's grown up with it, who participated in it, and now currently has not one, not two, but 3 kids who are in various stages of these. The rec to the travel, the fun with very little compelling coaching to you have to turn over your entire life. The other disclaimer I will say is I'm not going to come at this like I have every single answer in this thing, because I certainly do not, and we certainly do not, because I've already, in just the short amount of time that my kids have been in it, I've already fallen prey to this stuff. I've already made poor choices. I've already had to rethink things. I've already had to back off. I've already had to say, this seems like not a good situation. And I like to think of myself as someone who's pretty educated on the whole thing because I'm around a lot of coaches. I grew up with a lot of coaches. Like, I feel like I have an advantage of what's good, what's bad, what's fake, what's real, what's a money grab, what's productive. And I still, at the end of it, a couple of things we've done, like, man, this was dumb. Like, I put my kid in a bad situation here. So we're all kind of learning as we go. We're all kind of winging it. So I don't claim to have all the answers. But what Mike outlines is something that I've found to be completely true. I've said it before about politics, that there's no money in the middle. You can't make any money online. You can't make any money doing a show, having a YouTube channel, if you're just playing it straight down the middle, taking it issue by issue. You have to be insane this way or insane that way, because what does that do? It drives engagement. It gets clicks. It gets people talking. There's no money in the middle. So the reasonable stuff that I think most of us kind of long for, politically and otherwise, it's hard to find that stuff because there's no money in it. There's no money unless you're making people mad this way or happy this way or vice versa. It's the same here, I think, in the sports world. There's no middle ground, or at least I haven't found enough of it yet. I found it in some places, in some of the sports. It seems like every sport we've been in or are currently in, you have 2 options. And I don't know if this was like this when you grew up, Brett, but you have 2 options. Rec, the community stuff. Every community center in every community and city, in the lobby, they'll have the pamphlets or they'll have the guide. Here's our summer programming. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 10:20 to 11, we've got soccer, and it's $54 for the whole thing. And you show up, and there's 10 kids, and 2 of them really want to be there. 2 of them might want to be there, and 6 of them don't want to be there at all, hate everything about it, and they're all on the same team. Well, that's a tough situation if you're the 2 that really want to be there. So what do you look for? I'm going to look for something a little bit more competitive. I'm not just there to smell dandelions and get the ices after the game. My kids like to play. My kids like to win. My kids want to keep score. They want to know the standings. All right, well, we have an option for you. Sign this contract that's longer than the NDA that attendees of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding guests had to sign. Make sure you book every weekend for the next 52 weeks and do the next 36 just to be safe, because we might qualify for some other tournaments. We're going to need 1.5 years out of your life. We're going to make you try out for a team in August that doesn't start until March. And we're going to need $2,000 now and probably $2,000 later. And when we get there, there's probably a uniform fee, and there's going to be a tournament or 2 that aren't in the original package. So we're going to need an extra $150 to $300 for those as well. And when we get to those tournaments, all the parents that are going to be there, they're not just going to want to go to Culver's or Dairy Queen or McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts to get the breakfast or the dinner after the games or matches. We need to go to a very bougie tap house so we can have some beers, we can have some dinner. They don't really have a kids menu, so you got to order off. That's going to be a couple of $100 too. By the way, this tournament is 6 states away, which isn't really drivable, so you might have to fly, but the drivable ones with the gas prices are still really expensive. That's your option. There's no middle ground. There's rec, which is what I grew up playing for a really long time, house league basketball. And then we started traveling in like 5th grade. I think we had 2 teams. We didn't have A or B until we got to, I think, 7th grade. And that's over now. I mean, if you're not playing traveling basketball in 3rd grade now, you're cooked. It's toast. I can't even believe. Why would you even try to go to tryouts? Like, that's absurd. Oh, you didn't get them in traveling before they were 10? Well, good luck. They're not going to play. So you've got the rec, or you've got the literally sign over your entire life. And there's very little middle ground to the whole thing. And that's where I think we're cooked and we're stuck. Because I don't blame the people that start the programs. Because people are going to pay for them. And as long as people are going to pay for them, there's going to be programs for it. So I guess what I'm saying is the only solution we really have to the pay for play thing, because that's what's being blamed right now for the U.S. soccer. And jump in on this, Brett, because the European model allegedly is basically inverted from what we do, where it's a lot of people that get to participate. The pro clubs have clubs underneath them, and they have clubs underneath them, and it's all very easy. It's all very accessible. When a player graduates out of a certain club, they get financially rewarded for it. The cost isn't really passed on to the parents as much as it is here, where it's literally, no, you're funding all of this. And there's scholarships and there's, need-based stuff and all of this. But part of the reason why I think in sports we lose a lot of it, and I don't know if it's soccer or not, you could maybe speak to it, is the second your kid shows any interest in it beyond rec, you basically need to ask ChatGPT, how much money can I get for my kidney and where do I need to go? There's no ramp up. And I've dealt with this with all 3 of my kids. I've got a hockey player. God bless all of us. Okay? As much as community hockey is a staple here in Minnesota, and most places in the country say that we do it better than anybody else, and I do believe that we do. We talked about the Black Bear hedge fund thing out east, where this company's just going in and buying rinks and basically making it all club hockey, and the community hockey model's dying there because it's unaffordable. You can't, the rec stuff can't happen. Minnesota still tries to do it, I think, that way. But as someone who has a kid in a huge association that has great association hockey and great volunteers and great availability and great affordability, all those kids are doing a lot of different hockey. All those kids are still doing Team X, Team Y, and my son's right in there with them. I think we do less than a lot of people, and I still think he's doing too much. But that's the spot, the tricky spot that you're in. And I have no illusions that I'm going to get a text from Russo Radio on the 4th of July in 2040 and saying, hey, has your son decided who he's going to sign with? I'd like to break it on the 4th of July. He's a free agent. I have no illusions that one day I'm going to be a source for Russo Radio on which NHL team my son is going to play on. But I want him to be able to play as long as he can, competitively as he can, because he loves to play. If I let him play 10 hours a day, he would play 10 hours a day. Same thing with my oldest son in basketball. If I told him go play basketball all day, he would. If he could play all day, that's what he would do. Have no idea what my daughter's going to do. But I even think about her dance when she did that. At ages 3 and 4, she did the dancing thing, right? None of them know what they're doing when they're on the stage. Half of them are crying. The outfits cost like $1,000. You give them the flowers at the end. It's the greatest thing ever. To go to the next level, and I'm using quotations for people that can't see me, I seriously got a pamphlet that was like 32 pages about what the expectations were for the group, for the team, for the deal. I'm like, she's 5. It's November right now, and you're telling me that you need her this weekend in March, this weekend in April, and this weekend in May, and it's the expectation that the whole weekend is blocked off to that. You're aware that she's 5, right? Did I sign up for the wrong group? So that's part of the issue that we're dealing with now. And the only way out of that box is we have to stand up as parents. We have to stand up as a parental community and say, we're not doing it anymore. Because half the reason, I'd say 75% of the reason, I don't know. most of the time, the reason you're signing your kid up for all this stuff is because Brett and his wife, they signed their kids up, and we don't want our kid to fall behind, or we want him to be in the front. Like, we're all, and I don't even know if any of us really know what we're chasing or what we're doing, but the pay-for-play model that's being talked about right now with the soccer community of how we've got it backwards, the only way we stop it is it has to come from inside the house, doesn't it? These companies, like, will change the model when people stop making money off the model. Well, the only way they're going to stop making money off the model is if we stop paying for it. Because my response to that original tweet that I talked about was, everybody knows what the issues are, or what we think they are. Those have all been diagnosed. Why we think we're behind in soccer, for example, or why the best player in the world for basketball in the NBA, the last how many MVPs, have not come from America. Right? They've come from Greece. They've come from Serbia. You go down the list. Canada. Now, I know SGA technically was a product of the AAU system a little bit because he was from Toronto, I think, and played a lot down here. But the European model for sports development has worked out pretty well. And we all know how they do it compared to how we do it. And the only way we're going to change how we do it is we have to. The ones that are in charge, the ones that have the endless group me's and endless PayPals and endless direct deposits and endless payment plans, we're the ones that kind of have to stop it. But do we have the stomach for it? I don't know that we do. I'd love some talkbacks on it, on how we feel about the whole pay-for-play model in general. Is it as broken on the soccer side of things? Is it as broken on the hockey side of things, basketball, whatever? Is there a middle ground? Can we find a middle ground? On a lot of the sports, that's what I've tried to do with especially my middle son, who likes to play everything and plays hockey and plays lacrosse and plays football. He asked me one time, why does every sport that I play, why do I need a helmet? It's like, well, you kind of need a helmet your entire life all the time, bro. You're just that kid. You run into walls, you don't care. Like, that's how it's going to go. And he wants to do the extra stuff. His friends do the extra stuff. Well, I can't stomach doing all the extra stuff in any of the sports, but what's the middle ground? I haven't found it yet. I want to play one thing here. It's about a 3-minute clip before we take a break, take some talkbacks, take some calls, maybe definitely take some texts because they've been pouring in. This is from a hockey tournament that I think wrapped up today. I want you to just listen to the audio. I've got one more thing to say about it after.
Champion right beside your name, Billy. You guys have been knocking on the door, finally bust through. What does it mean?
Well, it means a lot to Minnesota. We represent a lot of teams that have come up here and been close. And back home, a lot of people, every time we come up, they're like, bring it home to Minnesota for the first time, and I've come up now 8 times. You come home and you kind of feel like people want that, they want the brick back home in Minnesota. It's a big thing for everybody that's been there, and the kids still wear the Minnesota gear. So to me, it represents just bringing it home to a bunch of kids that have played here too, and this team. And this team had been together the longest. We got these kids together about 2.5 years ago, and we just kind of felt like it was kind of a team of first. So Colton was the first underager ever to return. It was the first time that we'd ever gotten together 3 years in advance. We had a perfect storm with Kyle Oposo joining us this spring. Staus, our D guy, our defensive coach, he's a big guru up in northern Minnesota. He was a captain at Denver. His 2 older boys have played in the brick, and I asked him to be on the bench this time. He hadn't been on the bench with us before. So if you look at our defensive totals, they're a lot lower than they've been. I'm an offensive-minded coach, so to have that firepower up front and have unbelievable defense, it was a game changer for us. So
you guys executed the game plan, I thought, almost to perfection. You guys locked them down. Your back end is strong. Wagner in the pipes is also strong. It just, as you mentioned, it's kind of a perfect storm. This group, just how special is this specific age group for this Minnesota squad?
Well, we knew this when we get off the plane to come to Edmonton every year. It's such a hard tournament. It's so difficult. We respect it so much that we just hope to get to the playoff round every year. This year when we got off the plane, this group had a lot of success back home in tournaments and traveling around North America for the last 1.5 years. And when we got off the plane up here, this group, you kind of felt it, that they wanted, the goal was to win it. And that usually isn't the goal when you come to the Brick. The goal is to be competitive and make the playoff round. But internally, we knew we had something special, and we wanted to put our head down and get through the finish line and just stay humble throughout the week.
I know your message when you come to these things is about the journey, is about the experience, but it's got to feel nice to win one, doesn't it?
It feels great. And there's also another side story. My best friend, his son is on the team. And a couple years ago, we got together and tried to master plan. Jude Peterson, he's been like a second son to me. So I kind of feel like I'm talking about my own son. But me and Corey, we've been best friends our whole life. And we play NHL 95 on Sega eSports. We just love sports. And we're like, let's see if we can win the Brick. And we kind of started putting pieces together and bringing people in. And it formed a perfect storm.
Billy, we're happy for you. We're thrilled for you. Go enjoy the moment.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Brick and the Brick staff. It is the best tournament in North America, in the world in youth hockey, and it's honored to be here. So thank you.
The Brick, for those wondering, a hockey tournament for 9 and 10-year-olds.
In for Barreiro, this is Justin Gaard on the Fan.
From the 1-800 Ask Gary Traffic Center.